Okay, so we're doing whole body, routine 3. Routine 3 is just a combination of routine 1 and routine 2, combining the two exercises. So when we're doing this routine, we're going to go through it once, and then we're going to go through it again. So as we did in the other exercises, we're going to do one set of each exercise consecutively. In this routine, you're going to do one set of each exercise and then go through it again as a circuit. We're going to start with a squat and a shoulder press. So you're going to take your legs a little bit wider. Your knees are going to be tracking the same direction as your toes. We're going to take those hands up to the shoulders. We're going to slide our backs down that imaginary wall. So just doing a slight tailbone tuck. We'll take ourselves down and then slowly press the arms up. Bring the arms back down, squat, and press. Our next one is our dumbbell lateral lunge. So when we're lunging, we're going to step back, the same thing as we did before. Lunge it back, hands are by our sides. We're going to take the arms out to our lateral lift and then come back to standing. We'll do the same thing on the opposing leg, so we're alternating legs. Lunge, lateral lift. Lunge, lateral lift. Exhale, exhale. Next one we're going to be doing is our deadlift. So it's our Romanian deadlift, combining it with a row. So this is for our back. We're going to be bending in the knees, square up your feet again, don't forget about the feet. We're going to take ourselves down into our deadlift. So arms are long to begin with, taking the weights down towards the shoes, hinging from our hips. We'll come up halfway and then exhale, bring the weights back towards the waistline. Drop the weights back down and then lowering our body back down towards the floor. So coming up, three-quarter position, exhale, and lower. Our next exercise is our glute bridge and chest press. So we're activating our glutes while we're doing our chest muscles. For those of you who are not comfortable with laying down on the floor, please just omit doing this pose. You don't have to. For everyone else, we're lowering ourselves down, vertebra by vertebra, supporting our back, walking our feet in so that they're comfortable underneath us and supported. We'll bring the weights up, elbows are in line with the shoulders, palms are facing towards the toes. And again, we want to make sure that our wrists are not kicked back and not dropped forward, so our wrists are fully supported. When we move into this position, we're pressing into the feet, and as we lift the hips, we lift the arms. So we exhale and raise the hips, raise the weights. Lowering down, then lifting back up. Your next exercise in your whole body routine is bench dips. If you happen to be at the gym doing bench dips, the bench is pretty low when you're doing tricep dip works. So we have this option. These are equalizer bars. You'll see them in the gym. When you set them up, you want them comfortable so that they're wide enough that you're able to actually walk comfortably through. So you'll set them up accordingly to your body type. You'll walk into the center of them, place your hands on the center of them, put your body weight supported on them, and then slowly walk your feet forward. We want to keep ourselves so that our shoulders are in line with our wrists as much as we can possibly. Then from here, we'll exhale and slowly bring ourselves down so that our arms are almost at a 90 but not quite. And then exhale, press ourselves back up. We're going to try to challenge ourselves and do at least 3. If we don't get to 3, that's okay. If we get to 4, that's fantastic. If we get to more than 4, well done. So the tricep dips are a really important exercise to me because I feel that they're a functional fitness exercise. It's important that as we get older that we're able to help push ourselves out of a chair, and using the triceps is the muscle that we use. So by bringing our hands to the back of the chair, we can make fists and push ourselves up, or we can just simply use the hands and push ourselves up. And this exercise in itself, pushing ourselves up, can be quite a challenge. So by just doing this exercise, can be quite some work in the triceps. Now I'm going to demonstrate the actual bench dip itself. So our hands are going to be on the bench, and we'll walk our hands behind the buttocks. So we want to make sure that our arms are close enough in. We want to keep our bum close to the bench as comfortable without actually hitting the bench itself. We want to walk our feet out comfortably enough, far enough out that our knees are tracking over our ankles. We'll exhale, drop down to where we feel the work in the tricep, and then push the body back up. So the work is on the push up as well as the drop down. The next exercise is a knee tuck. In the picture, you'll see that the lady's doing the knee tuck with both knees. That's quite challenging. So we can all do this same exercise either on a bench or in a chair, just sitting down, sitting back, and just leaning a little bit back so that we're engaging a little bit in our abdominals. We can extend one leg out and pull in. We can always do just one leg at a time, or we can start alternating one leg and then the other. Now we're on to our 21s. 21s is simply called 21s because you do 21 bicep curls. You're going to use a broomstick or a bar or a barbell in the gym, or you're going to use the Easy Bar. The Easy Bar is the little squiggly one, and then you can put on 2 to 5 pound weights on each side, or you can just use the bar itself. We want to take our hands hip width apart and taking palms facing forward. Watch that we're not cocking the wrist or curling the wrists in, keeping them neutral. We'll take the elbows in by our side and we'll curl up. The one thing that happens when we do the 21s though, if we're using too heavy of a weight, we'll start seeing this swaying motion when we're doing them. So if we get to about 17 of them and you can't go any further and your body starts doing this movement, just stop. Write down your number at 17 and carry on, and maybe next time either lighten the weight and they'll be able to do that 21 set. Now we're doing the push-up. This is an opportunity for you to do your fitness testing. Instead of doing the number that's provided for you, I want you to do 1 minute to put your clock or your timer on, and you're going to do push-ups either on the wall, on a bench, or down on the floor. This is how we're going to start. We'll do them on the wall. We'll take our body out to a 45, so our body's at a diagonal. We want to make sure that our hands are not higher than our shoulders, but actually shoulder height. We want to take our fingers wide, like starfish, and making sure that our arms are wide enough that when we come into this position, that our elbows are at a 90. So we want to think of blowing the wall away. So we're So now we can advance it a little bit further if we feel confident in going further into a countertop or tabletop position. We'll take ourselves in that same 45 and we're lowering and exhale, blowing ourselves away. We want to think of our heart center coming towards the countertop or the table that we're using. One important thing to note is if you're doing this movement, this is not a push-up. This is a push-up because you're using your core. The next version of our push-up we can start is on the bench, so that our hands go nice and wide. We're in a kneeling position, and we press ourselves away. When we're doing this position, we want to make sure that we stay off the knees so that our feet are towards our buttocks. If we're doing the floor exercise of push-ups, we're going to take our legs wide and then cross at the ankles. We keep the feet as close as we can to the seat so that we're off the kneecaps. We'll take our hands wide so that they're off of a mat and that our elbows are bent at a 90-degree angle. From this position, we want to be pushing on the bottom part of our thigh, coming up, and we're not on the kneecap. Keep the tailbone tucking, so we want to just do a slight pelvic tilt. When we're ready, we exhale, blow the floor away. If we're working on challenge, so maybe we're going to start at a man push-up and taking ourselves all the way off of our knees. We want to take our feet wide, almost in a star shape first to begin with. This will help us, so if we decide we do maybe 4 man push-ups and we can't do any more, we can just drop down to the knees, cross at the ankles, and carry on in the kneeling position in our 1-minute fitness exercise. So if we're doing a man push-up, we'll take ourselves up, press through the heels so that our hands and our feet are in that even position. We'll take ourselves down and exhale, blow ourselves away from the floor. So, our option for our last exercise is a 1-minute cardio exercise of jump rope. So our first variation can just be this. Cycling the legs, they don't even have to lift off the floor. But hey, guess what? This is a great opportunity to continue with your fitness testing. There's a step in the gym or there's a step at your house. You can put that 3-minute timer on and you can do your stair stepping.